We're live everywhere. All right. Hello. Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. I am stand-up comedian Nathan Timmel in Iowa City. With me, as always, is stand-up comedian Jake Vevra in New York City. Hello, Jake.
How's it going?
All is well here. Let's just jump right in. I want to begin this podcast doing what I think is necessary, and that is thanking President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Jake, in the past 10, 12, 15 years, however long we've been doing this, every so often we will record a podcast, and then an hour later, that night or the next morning, a big news event will happen. And then it'll be like, well, why didn't they talk about that big news event on the podcast? Well, we recorded, but President Trump decided to invade Venezuela and capture Maduro before we recorded so that we could talk about it today. Thank you, President Trump, for timing your raid of Venezuela with our podcast. Thank you for doing that for us.
That's true. And thank you for getting that guy. For years, I've said my life has not been complete because Moderna is down there in Venezuela. All right.
Moderna?
Yeah, I took the Moderna booster and then my hair fell out. My dick's small. You know, I drink too much. It's because of that goddamn Moderna shot. I'm glad he went down there. Liberal media talking about, oh, no, it's because you have terrible genetics and character defects. Screw you, Fauci. I'm glad that Trump finally got back at Moderna for giving me that goddamn booster shot from all the way down there in Venezuela and fucked my whole life up.
There you go. Solar says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Back to you, Solar Lass. Well, Jake, do you have any thoughts on this? The only thing I posted on Facebook was, quick, everyone take a side and dig in because of your political leanings, but not due to any facts, because that's what people are going to do. They're immediately just going to if you like Trump, he's doing the best thing ever. If you don't like Trump, you're going to say it's the worst thing ever. It's what we do. Do you have any thoughts on the operation itself, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, so it makes me miss a time. You know, I have two kids, 1 and 3, and I'm going to speak to them sort of fondly about an almost mythical time to them when the government would actually try to sell its lies for why it was invading countries. You know what I mean? Like say what you want about the weapons of mass destruction thing. They really sold it. They were like, hey, man, we had a thing happen a couple years back, this whole 9/11 thing, and it was awful. It killed thousands of us. I mean, there was people that came over here, and they were part of an underground sort of group, an ideological group that wants to take you guys out, and part of them are in Iraq, and they have weapons of mass destruction. Christ, you saw what these guys did with only box cutters. Now imagine that they had weapons of mass destruction over here. It would be terrible. They're trying to do this. Now, it wasn't like a great lie, but they tried. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There was holes in it. They were like, they're doing this. Why did they do this whole 9/11 thing? For your freedoms. They hate that there's women walking around with their hair showing and eating BLTs and stuff. And you're like, wait a minute, there's other countries that do that. Like most countries that ain't Islamic do that. And they're closer to them geographically. Are you sure, government, it isn't anything that you're doing over there? And they're like, no, what do you really? Because I heard a video from the guy who did this Osama bin something. And he said he didn't like what you guys were doing over there. Like, what? No, don't listen to that. That's terrible. You hate the troops. You hate the troops if you listen to that. So there was holes in it, right? But they tried. They at least made an effort with their lies. This time, they're just like, well, they're selling drugs. It's like, well, so do lots of people. I sell drugs sometimes. Are you going to bomb me? What are you talking about? You know? And then he was like, we seized an oil tanker. And you're like, I thought this was about drugs. And he was like, hey, it's about oil and land too. And it's like, well, why are you only bombing the boats from one country for drugs? What are you talking about? Like, it's such a half-assed lie. Even his own side isn't really getting behind this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know any conservatives who have been super behind the boat bombs.
They will.
Venezuela.
They'll fall in line.
Yeah, but they'll sit there and they'll go, well, at least he didn't bomb the boats with an auto pen, huh? At least he's not invading a country while there's trans women in the pool, huh? Like it's going to be they're just going to deflect to something else.
Yeah. I like that they played the long game. I mean, he was indicted in 2000, in March of 2000. So I guess Trump was expecting a second term and they would have gone after him then. So I like
March of 2000.
Yeah, that was when he was first indicted. Maduro. He was
5 years ago?
I'm sorry, 2020. My bad.
God, I was
2020. No.
He hasn't been in power that long. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no. Smart. Good on you. 2020. He was indicted in March 20. And it's not like, I mean, it was he was put to power through a false election. Like, look, I'm going to go on record and jump front and say, I don't know. Like, I don't follow Venezuela. I'm not acting as an expert here, but it was sort of a bullshit election that put him in power. And I just like the fact that Trump didn't forget.
Okay.
No, he's not. I just love the fact that Trump, like, in the 4 years that Biden was in office and everything in Venezuela was, fine or ignored or, that Trump like gets back into power and the first thing he wants to do is like, hey, remember what we did in 2020 when the state of New York indicted him? Let's bring that back up. But yeah, it's messy. The fact of the matter is that you need Congress to approve an act of war.
Really? Because I don't think Bush did. He was just like,
that's the whole point.
The war, it's just called a little whoopsie-poo involving bombs.
And so, but that's
skirmish.
There are two sides to this. Well, there are two parts, not two sides. There are two parts. One, presidents do this all the time. You need to get a Congress, but nobody does. Nobody goes to. And the second part is it's because Congress is fucked because of what I said a second ago. Say there was a legit reason to go after Maduro, Moderna, as you like to say. You'd have Democrats.
Sure. I hope he dies for giving me the booster shot that made me lose my hair.
You would have Democrats saying there's no reason to do it, and you would have Republicans saying we absolutely. It boils down to politics. So of course he's going to do an end around. It's all nonsense. But I will. The final thing I'll say is this: you said it's about land and oil. It's absolutely about oil, and I've said this on the podcast before. I wish I could give due credit. One of my favorite jokes when I was living in Los Angeles, I saw an open micer talking about the Iraq War at 2.0, not the original Kuwait one. And he said, look, it's about oil.
Not to sound like a hipster, I like the original Iraq War more.
Yes. He said it's about oil. If we could fuel a car using AIDS, we would invade Haiti. And I loved that line. It made me laugh so much.
Yeah. And it's a good point, man. It's like, look, and I hate that I have to say this, but you have to every time. Just because you criticize a war doesn't mean you're for the other side, Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and go, hey, man, this guy Moderna's a great guy. This, his election was on the up and up. I'm not saying I would want to buy a timeshare in Venezuela. But what I am saying is if there wasn't a bunch of oil underneath Venezuela, we wouldn't give a fuck about that. You know where there's also a lot of shady elections and a lot worse leaders than that? Places like the Congo. You know where we don't do a fucking thing? The Congo. But
we did just bomb Nigeria, but
right? Oil and minerals and stuff, right?
That's for his Christian base because it finally made the news that Christians are. But Exile has a good point. I can't remember her name, but that is true. The woman who won the Peace Prize has been pro-Trump ever since he went after Moderna. And I like the fact that we're going to call him Moderna from now on. So she did stroke his ego saying like, hey, you're doing good. This guy is bad. You should come get it.
She did. How crazy is it going to be if the woman that won the Nobel Peace Prize gets killed in an airstrike by the guy who was really wanting to get the Nobel Peace Prize, Deadline arrives to try to get the Peace Prize after that.
Edward, continue on this. I seem to have forgotten. Deadline arrives for Trump to secure $450 million bond or risk seizure of assets. That one's lost on me. Jake, do you know what he's talking about?
No, but it does seem like the kind of thing I know he owes money for the lawsuits and stuff, but I think he's got that through crypto, man. Like I think he's got other ways to get it. I think this is
or he's just not paying. He's just ignoring it at this point. Right, like, Gene Carroll gets $100 million. Fuck you. I'm president. I'm not paying shit.
Well, here's my point about the Congo. If we discover a crazy big a reserve of oil underneath the Congo.
We'll be in there tomorrow.
Oh my God. We'll have to pick a side immediately. Oh my God. Did you hear about this guy, Al Shabuti? We got to give money to Al Shabuti because I know a lot of people are saying he's a warlord that cuts people's heads off. But you know what? This other guy, Al Shabuti, he cuts their heads off and it fucks them. So, we got to get behind Al Shabooty. We got to get Al Shabooty. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are you saying you don't want to get behind Al Shabooty? Then you hate America and you hate the troops. Is it because he's black? I think you're racist. I think that's why you don't want to give hundreds of billions of dollars to Al Shabooty and a bunch of surface air missiles. It's because you're a racist who hates the troops and hates America, depending on what side of the aisle of corporate media you're listening to. You will hear that talk if they find a bunch of oil underneath the Congo.
Did you see the Daily Show? I think it was a Jon Stewart episode last week before they went on vacation. And by the way, quick aside that has nothing to do with anything. Fuck every other podcast in the world. Jake and I, once again, did not go on vacation through Christmas and New Year. New episode. Every podcast I listen to is in reruns and on vacation. We hate our
families. We love the listeners.
Yes. We are new every week. We never take a week off unless Jake's dad dies. Don't let your dad die a second time. That's the only episode we've missed. But anyway, the Daily Show literally played.
He also took the Moderna booster. Huh? I'm glad Trump got that guy. My dad takes the Moderna booster and then 39 months later, he just drops fucking dead.
Hold on.
I'm supposed to go into Venezuela and get Moderna for this shit?
I am interrupting my own rant to pull up Todd Rubel. I'll stick to chic your booty. Jake, do you get it?
Chic your booty. Yeah, that's right.
What is it? What is it?
Chic Your Booty is he's the next guy we got.
It's a fucking Frank Zappa album. It's a great reference. It's a good album. It's got some good tunes on it.
I did not get the.
Frank is in a dashiki smoking a cigarette. The album is Chic Your Booty, but where was I? The Daily Show did a side-by-side, a literal, here's how they sold the war in Iraq, and here are the fucking exact same talking points for Venezuela.
Weapons of mass destruction again. He said fentanyl is a weapon of mass destruction.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, you probably should have used a different term. That historians don't look back fondly at that term and the truthfulness behind it. Also a little bit different. He was at least implying they had nukes or something close.
Yeah.
Whereas this guy's going, man, this stuff will kill you if there's too much of it in a bump of coke. And it's like, well, that's not really come on now. And then not only that, but that ain't even where fentanyl comes from. What's mostly coming from there is coke and weed. One of the ships they bombed, a bunch of weed showed up on the shores of Colombia. I can go 2 blocks from my apartment in New York and buy legal that, which we bombed that boat for. So cut the shit, man. Well, he's not even selling this one well to his own sides.
And as I've said this 100 times, they take the coke, it gets cut with fentanyl to stretch it out and make it more profitable.
Right.
And as I have said 100 times, I was listening to I don't know who it was, a reporter, a CIA analyst, someone that really broke it down, and he said they are not trying to kill us. No. They want customers. As if you're baking cookies and every so often you get a little fleck of flour that didn't mix in well enough, that's all that happens with the fentanyl. They're not mixing it in trying we're going to kill the Americans using fentanyl. Right. They want customers. They want addicts. It's just that every so often when you mix it, it gets mixed poorly and someone ODs. It's tragic. It's horrible. I'm not belittling it, but you can't look at it as they're trying to get us with fentanyl. No, they're trying to increase their profits with fentanyl. All they care about is money. They don't care if we happen to do a lot of the drugs. If there was another rich Western nation that did as much drugs as we did
here,
Yeah, I'm just saying
what's happening.
They ship everywhere. They do not discriminate. Right. If England had an opioid epidemic, and maybe they do, I'm not British, I don't follow, but they'd ship to there. It's whoever will buy, they ship to.
I got 2 points for that. A comparison I like to make with because a lot of people go fentanyl, they're putting it in there to kill people. It's like no. It's like you said, they're stretching the bags.
Yeah.
I compare it to sort of like, let's say you had a big margarita machine, like a big one, like in a bar, and you had a type of tequila that was as strong as 100 times one shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Per shot, right? One shot is as strong as 100.
What was the big thing? Like absinthe when everyone was saying, or wormwood?
That's something different.
I know. I'm just saying when you have a potent liquor.
Probably GHB would be the closest comparison. Yeah. But either way, and you're like, well, I could make this. But it's like the same price as tequila. You're like, well, what I'll do is I'll take some regular tequila and then I'll take some of this super 100 times tequila, and that's going to make really strong margaritas for cheap. And it's like, yeah, it will. But you better hope that little spinny thing in there that's mixing the margaritas is mixing them equally, because otherwise one guy just got a really weak drink because all of it's on the bottom side, and the other guy just went to the hospital because he drank 25 shots or whatever, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of what they're doing with the fentanyl. Also, you know where else you can go right now to get fentanyl? A hospital. You know who got fentanyl when she gave birth both times? My wife. They gave it to her in the spinal tap. So basically, if you have...
You know who got fentanyl when he had a colonoscopy?
Right.
This guy right here. Best fucking nap of my life. I think I've said it on the podcast. I remembered at the time, mid-sentence, and then I woke up in the waiting room. Like, we were talking, and I woke up 2 hours. I was like,
well, exactly.
Oh my God, that was great. I loved it.
And you know why? Because in a laboratory, you can take the 100 times, the 1 gram of heroin or whatever, opiates, and cut it evenly with baking soda, whatever they're doing it with, rice flour, whatever, right? Because it's coming out of a lab. If you're just doing it, if you're just some junkie with a
eyeballing it
and a fucking Metro card, you know what I mean? Like, now we're gonna, you might not do it as well, right? So what I'm saying is this stuff isn't mostly coming from the places that make cocaine and heroin and stuff. It's coming from pharmaceutical companies. If you want to keep this from getting on the streets, you're going to have to largely regulate the pharmaceutical companies. Do you want to do that, government? Or are you being bought off by these people? No, I think you'd rather bomb some boats, pretend that's what it's for, when it's actually about oil. It has nothing to fucking do with drugs, especially fentanyl. You just want to go down there and get the oil like you always do. You're going to install some kind of puppet dictator in a banana republic, drink up all the oil, and just slap a thing on a aircraft carrier that says mission accomplished, and then you're going to yell about trans people in swimming pools. That's all you're going to fucking do.
You know what's interesting about the timing that I have not heard talked about yet is, we started bombing the boats, but this all began as OPEC started flooding the economy with oil. When they said, you know what, we're going to start pumping more, and the price has gone down. And Texas oil, they're shutting down production and laying people off because it's not profitable. And so if it's not profitable for Texas, we need a new supply. Go where labor is cheap, go where everything's cheap, and just take it over. Yeah, South America.
Anybody who is under the delusion, even the cynical delusion that, he's going down there to get oil, but that'll help my country. That will help America. No, that will help 7 fucking rich guys in your country. You're not tasting any of that. Your life's not getting improved by that.
Exiled makes a point. He did pardon a guy that was
point as well.
I can't remember. If you're really Honduras, if you're really into drugs and protection, you wouldn't be pardoning someone that was convicted of, what was it, 400 tons or 400? It was some absurd fucking amount of coke that he brought in.
And not only that, but and I'm tired of people on the left saying, because as much as I disagree with the right, much of the mainstream media on the left would just be like, all right, guys, here this is on a silver platter, take it and run with it. And then they fall over and the whole thing just spills all over their waiter outfit, Yeah. They'll sit there and go, hey, man, we don't know that there's actually drugs aboard these ships. Yes, who cares? You don't get the death penalty for smuggling drugs in this country. Even in Texas, if a cop goes up and goes, I think there's drugs in this car, and he just Swiss cheeses it and Bonnie and Clydes it, that cop will spend the rest of his natural life in prison, right? A. And then B, yes, we do know there's drugs on that ship. Have you seen what's happened to the price of cocaine? He was elected to lower the cost of cocaine.
I forgot to turn the furnace off. Tell me in the chat, everybody, if I need to turn the furnace off. Is there an annoying background furnace? It just kicked on and I forgot to turn it off.
It's fine.
Okay. But that's the thing with the left is like, oh, they're just bombing innocent. How many average Venezuelans have those kind of speedboats that just fucking take off and head north for no reason? Like, hey, we're going out. Some people on the media try to say, what if it's a fishing boat? Really? A high-speed fishing boat with 4 dudes on it just fucking going.
It's absolutely drugs. That's what
it's absolutely drugs.
When I first heard that they bombed a drug boat, I was like, oh, dude, it must be like a freight liner, like not a speedboat. There must be like explosives on there. You know what I mean? They probably got like RPGs. They probably got like, mounted turret machine guns and stuff. It's like, no, that's a speedboat. They probably got a couple rifles on there or something. You know who's got way bigger stuff than that? The Coast Guard. They have a method for this. It's very simple. What they do is they'll either shoot out the engine like from afar with the sniper. They actually just did that a few weeks ago and caught like the biggest drug shipment caught by the Coast Guard in, like decades or something, right? Or what they do that's even easier than that is they will just go up to it from afar and yell out a loud horde, hey, get everybody on deck of this boat or we will Bonnie and Clyde your boat. And if you put your hands
tends to work.
It tends to work really, really well. There's no need to do this to stop drugs coming into the country. That is not what this is about. Plus, this is like hundreds and hundreds of miles from our coast anyway. So, I mean, we don't even know that these things were coming to America. And again, if we did, the point's moot. And my other point, he's raised the cost of drugs by a lot. He was elected to lower the cost of goods, all last year. They go, oh, the price of eggs. Hey, you know what costs way more money than eggs? Hard drugs, you fucks. Let's work big to small. All right. You know how much a bag of Coke the size of one egg is? That's an 8-ball. I used to suck a dick for an 8-ball. Now I got to suck 2 dicks for an 8-ball. I got to pull this dude Hector. Now I got to suck off this guy named Tarif. And he said when he was running, the country of origin and the companies will suck off Tarif. The consumer always sucks off Tarif. Have you never done Coke with an economics professor, sir?
Do those guys get in a fight over who goes first, or since it's sucking off, doesn't matter? Like, I know you don't want to go second when you're banging because, then it's a sloppy seconds. But if it's in the mouth, I mean,
Trump loves Tarif. I always have to blow him first and with the least amount of teeth.
Coming.
That's right. It's tough for me. Look at my teeth. I don't have good. He gets the awkward toothy blowjob from a straight man. So it's probably not even worth it for him. I think it's more about power than anything.
There you go. All right. Well, I mean, it's one of those things where we could keep talking about, but here's the final thing I do want to say. Here's the final thing I want to say. I love that it's giving me flashbacks to Emil Marcos and his wife with all the shoes, because every single headline, and I clicked a few, like I walked into the gym and it was on the news. I'm like, oh shit. So I pulled up my Sirius XM app and listened to a little CNN, a little NPR, because I'm a hippie liberal. I should have listened to some Fox to see how they were selling it, but every single headline.
I doubt they're even behind this. I doubt even Alex Jones is behind this shit anymore.
We'll see. The whole point is every headline, everybody said Nicholas Moderna and his wife. I mean, I love that they could say that we got, I've said Moderna so often, I can't remember his name, Maduro.
I fucked you up on that.
You
that was
did.
Intentional.
Maduro. Nicholas. We're on a first name basis, Nicholas and I. So I'm just going to go by Nicholas. Nicholas. Either way, I love that his wife gets thrown into every headline. We got Nicholas and his wife. We got the president and his wife.
What did she do?
But I just love that every headline says we got him and his wife. They couldn't even leave her behind.
Was his wife the one sending the fentanyl on the boat?
I don't know, but it's
bullshit you're making up. Was his wife putting swimmers in the pool? What other kind of bullshit you gonna throw out there for your base? What other kind of? Is she in the moment going like, fuck? Is she a drag queen reading to kids in a library? Is that why we had to get his wife?
Yeah. Correction. I misread article. Terminal dated today. Oh, okay. So that's where that 454 million. All right, Jake, I have an update. I watched and it's unfortunate. Last week we talked about, I forgot her name. It shows you how exciting it was.
I watch it, son of a bitch.
You didn't miss anything. Ahmed Ali requests to join as a co-host. Sorry, buddy. Don't know who you are, but Ahmed, you're probably a nice guy. But
no offense, bud.
Karen Reed. First of all, it's not great. It was it came from television and HBO just sort of picked it up. So there are a lot of places where there are commercial breaks. It was 5 parts. It could have been 2. It could have been a 2-hour documentary. Not great, but here's my takeaway. It opens with, so I'm Karen Reed. I'm in my 40s. I'm dating this cop. He has a couple of kids, and we like to party and drink. So we're at a bar getting drunk, and we decided to go to an after bar. And the only reason I point out her age is because it's like you're in your 40s and you're worried about partying and going to after bars. That's a problem right there. If you don't want kids, if you don't want to be, I've no judgment. But when you're in your 40s and still hanging out like in your 20s, like, woo, it's 2 a.m. Where's the after bar?
I couldn't agree with you less. I love to be fucked up in my 40s. Are you kidding me? I'm going to leave right after this podcast and go do that. I lie to my wife and my kids and tell them I'm like, oh, I have to go. My ankle bracelet's going off. I have to see my parole officer. It's just a cheap piece of plastic I bought on eBay and just stapled it around my ankle. I go and I claim that the state of New York needs me.
Here is another thing I have said on this podcast before. I listened to a sheriff or a detective being interviewed, and he said there are 3 things you can do to stay safe as a person. I don't remember number 2 or 3, but number 1 was be home at midnight. Nothing good ever happens after midnight. It's Cinderella. Everything turns to shit after midnight. So it's 2 a.m. and they're going to a house. Here's what happened.
This guy sounds boring. I don't even want to bang Cinderella. I want to bang her wild, slutty sisters. They sound like fun. You know what I mean? They stay at the bar till close.
They go to this house where there's supposed to be an after bar party. She stays in the car. He goes inside. She's drunk. She should have gotten cited for driving. Either way, she starts texting him like, "Where are you? Why haven't you come out?" Or leaving voicemails. I can't. And she takes off. The next morning, he's found dead in the snow. And the big kerfuffle is, did she hit him while driving away drunk? Like he comes out like, "Hey, I'm here," and she backed into him, or was it some cop shit where he got the shit kicked out of him inside and they threw him in the snow and it's a big cover up and they're blaming her? So why? And you don't know. At the end of it all, she's acquitted, but you don't know. But it's 5 parts of like every time you think, oh, well, this makes sense, then they throw the next thing at you. And the end of it all is who really fucking knows what happens. Either you got people were destroying their phones. People were Googling how long does it take to die in the snow. Her taillight was cracked. Did she hit him? It's an unsolvable mystery. Only the people that either beat him to death and are lying know, or she did hit him and didn't realize it because she was drunk. Go.
This guy knows. This guy knows, and I know I haven't read about it much. I haven't, or at all. I haven't seen the documentary. Did this man take the Moderna booster? Do we know? I mean, maybe Trump's getting revenge for this right now, for this cop. He got the same booster that killed my father, Charlie Kirk. I mean, his neck just boom right in front of everybody. I mean, he takes the shot, and then 49 months later, it's just right in front of everybody. And so I gotta think it's the Moderna booster.
It could be. Ultra says, play bar hopping. My life revolves around my naps and my naps when I have to pee. Yes. And Richard agrees. I'm happy I made it this far. Solar says the cops did it. I mean, he's got these marks on his arm that look like a dog. So they say he was a victim of a dog attack. And the dog disappears. They're like, oh, we got rid of it. We don't have the dog anymore.
Okay, in all seriousness, I know I was joking around about vaccines and shit.
Yeah.
But I have to, part of me's got to believe that if she was actually acquitted for this, and I mean, they did like a full proper trial and autopsy and stuff like that. With my limited knowledge of autopsies and blunt trauma and stuff like that, I would think that getting hit by an SUV and getting beat to death are going to look very different.
Yeah.
And a medical expert could probably tell you that.
But you get medical experts for both sides, like negating one another. You're like, oh, it was dog bites. No, it looks like a car. It could, and you confuse a jury enough. The most damning thing, as I said, Solar said the cops did it. The most damning thing is one of the guys, one cop got fired. Like the instant he came on the scene, he's texting like, oh, this fucking cunt has a flat ass and she's saying that we beat him to death. Fuck her. Like that's the first detective like saying, like picking at her. But one of the guys in the house that where supposedly it happened, not only did he destroy his phone, like he not only did he exchange his phone, he fucking destroyed it, and he didn't have it. Like he drove somewhere and left it in a trash bin, like on I think it was a military base, or like he went out of his way to destroy the phone, not just like traded it. It's like, okay, that's fucking suspicious behavior.
Here's what I gotta wonder now. Like now that she's acquitted, so now it is, since she is acquitted,
yeah,
there's an unsolved murder. right?
Yes. Well, and now they're pulling an OJ. The family's going to file a civil suit against her. This is not their life is fucking ruined. She lives with her parents. She had to sell her house and her car because these legal bills. This whole thing came up because the lawyer is taking on Nick Reiner's case. And you'd think he'd want to do it for the attention, but no, apparently she's millions in debts. To
the lawyer for Nick Reiner's case, did the Reiner parents take the Moderna booster shot? Because, I mean, these could be more victims of Moderna. You know, that's why Trump's going down there and getting this guy.
He's a hero. Trump is a hero, mostly for
right.
doing it before our podcast, but for the other reasons, too. Either way, no, it's fucked up. Like I said, when you watch it, like you said, someone that gets hit by a car should look different from someone that was beaten to death and had a dog stuck. But when you get two experts on the stand making equally somewhat compelling arguments. I mean, the first trial was a mistrial. You had people that said she's guilty and you had people that said she's innocent. So it was a mistrial. And it was the second trial where she was declared not guilty, given. So the first one, they built it up.
Well, I know after the OJ trial, right?
Yes.
They technically, since he was acquitted, the LAPD had an unsolved murder. So they went and looked through the evidence and tried to track down the quote unquote real killer. And they were like, dude, the evidence is all only pushing us one way. One guy who was found not guilty and we can't charge him. So that investigation went nowhere. There's clearly got to be some kind of criminal investigation going on right now for this, or at least was going on. I don't know how long ago this happened.
The documentary just ended with the sad thing about the documentary. It ends with after the mistrial, she was tried again and acquitted. So you don't know if there is an investigation. You don't know how the second trial went, why she was acquitted. This is all about the first trial. So,
well, but that's my point. If she was acquitted, then technically in this county or whatever, there is an unsolved murder. So I mean, they have to have someone investigate it, right? So what's going on with that? Now this gets tricky because this really, really involves the police department to some level. You know, like this guy was a cop, even if she did hit him with the car, or whatever. It involves the death of a police officer. If he was murdered by the department, then they're still going to probably have somebody in there covering it up. I would imagine, but it's probably not the whole department either. So then do you have, if there is a credible suspicion of corruption within the department surrounding this case, do you then have federal investigators come in and investigate? Did you have maybe some kind of outside jurisdiction within the same state or maybe another state? Do they investigate it? I mean, it raises questions that it doesn't seem like the doc went into.
It didn't because it ended. So maybe there's an updated one. I'm not going to follow up, but that's something that anyone out there wants to Google and put it in the comments. But you are absolutely right. If
whatever criminal investigation went on after she was acquitted didn't find jack shit, that means something. I mean, it's not like, hey, this is empirical proof that she did it, but it ain't great that if outside investigators investigated this case and they were like, hey man, we don't find anything here, you know, and especially in a bar in this day and age, man, they all got cameras. Did they say what happened with the cameras in there? Nothing happened at the bar. The bar just shows them drinking and leaving and going to someone else's house. So everything took place in a private residence. This was the after bar. Although there is something I left out that was interesting. Oh, after bar. Gotcha.
She was dating a cop and texting another cop that either owned the house or was at the house. I don't know. It's mess. It's a mess. Maybe you have Netflix. There's a Netflix doc. Maybe that one's better than the HBO one. Like I said, the HBO one was sensationalistic.
They always
and too
are,
long.
Man. The Netflix docs are the key. I'll do some doc watching and get back to you on this one.
All right.
I'll do my investigative journalism, and by that I mean watch some shit that Netflix made and give my uneducated opinion about it.
While drinking.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be on edibles. I'm going to be so high and drunk while getting to the bottom of this case.
Just like she was. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's tear through the news stories.
Maybe that'll put me to it's like, oh my God, I see what happened. I'm in the upside down world. Oh my God.
Yes, you'll be on her plane.
It was the Moderna booster the whole time.
Probably was. I mean, I think it was after COVID. Yeah, because they said, we were dying to get out because we'd been cooped up for COVID. Let's tear through all the stories I sent you before Nicolas got taken down. We could just burn through these. Number one, and I can't pronounce this, Diana Taurasi says she never got paid like Kobe Bryant. Quote, I should have... Okay, I'm just going to read it because I paused because it was... I should have get paid, not got. I should have get paid for being the best basketball player in the world. All right.
Come on, that could be a typo.
Well, it could be. But here's the thing. As I said to you, so she is one of the most WNBA's elite players, and she wanted to get paid by Kobe. Here's the problem. I didn't know who you were until I saw this article.
Did you watch the video?
I didn't watch the video, but the point is, I don't watch the NBA. I don't watch basketball. I knew who Michael Jordan was. I knew who Kobe Bryant was. I know who Shaq was. I know who Steph Curry is. I know Gianni from Milwaukee. It's a big money, big, powerful industry. The WNBA is a money loser. You can't say I should have been paid like Kobe. Look, I'm a pretty good comedian. When I get on stage, audiences tend to laugh. I'm a nobody. I can't go in and demand fucking Nate Bargatze. We have the same name. Hey, I'm Nathan Timmel. It's kind of like Nate Bargatze. I should get paid like him. No, I shouldn't. I'm a fucking nobody. I'm sorry that you're great at what you do. You're a fucking nobody. You got paid accordingly.
So they kind of took that quote out of context.
Okay.
They were now in the video because you can click on the video. It's part of a long. I didn't watch the whole interview. I just kind of watched the chunk around this clip, and they're asking her about doing promos and stuff. And well, you know, like I do sympathize with the league on why they would want her to do that. I also sympathize with her as well. She's not really saying I should literally be paid the same amount of Kobe. Like, it sounds like it if you just take that one.
Wait. Are you saying they used clickbait to get me all worked up? I'm
afraid
how dare journalism take something out of context? How dare they? They've never done. So I fell for it. They took it out of context. It might not be
this journalist's fault, though. Did this journalist take the Moderna booster?
I'm sure it was
gotten in their brain and really.
They did it with Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey said, I don't own a home. I bounce from movie set to movie set. And they said, Kevin Spacey's homeless. The editor literally gets the biggest thing to click. So she should have been paid accordingly to the WNBA for her value. Yeah. Okay.
She's saying basically what she's actually saying in this in her full response. And the question was about like doing lots of promos and social media stuff. And she's basically saying, look, man, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not a TikToker. I'm not an influencer. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. I don't remember her exact quotes, but she's saying, I'm a basketball player and right. I'm one of the best to do it. I'm one of the best female basketball players to do it. Nobody is bothering Kobe to do a bunch of Instagram reels. You know, like he's getting paid for being a great basketball player. That's all I want to do. I want to show up and dribble. I'm one of the best to ever do it. So I just want to go out there and sink 3-pointers and make my living doing that. And honestly, yeah, you brought up a good comparison, and I'll still use the comedy comparison to that. There's tons of comics I know who have gotten way farther than me for many reasons. Character flaws, you know, ugliness, drunkenness, you know, my unwillingness to go kiss people's asses, you know, that book, whatever, this or that, shows I'm not booked on. There's a lot of reasons, right? One of them is a lot of these guys are really, really good with social media, right? And the league is saying, hey, we're trying to get more eyeballs on the screen. We got a lot of momentum going with Caitlin Clark. We would like you to kind of put yourselves out there and really try to do a little more of this. And you know, like it makes sense why the league would want them to do this, but it also makes sense by somebody going, hey, I did not get a scholarship in college for being really good on Instagram. Okay. This is not a related field at all in terms of like, you know, talent field. Some people are really good at both, you know. Shaquille O'Neal is wildly entertaining as a sports commentator and still makes a ton of money doing that. You know what I mean? Not everybody's good at that. Not everybody is just great at social media. So I get the frustration, you know.
Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fired. I'm just here so I don't get fired.
Yeah.
I'm just here so I don't get fired. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Marshawn Beast Mode was famous for you have to do post-game interviews. He just wanted to run the ball, and so that was his answer. He's like, I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm just here so I don't get fined. You know, like, yeah, I get it. Okay, you've spun me. I fell for the clickbait. I am on Team Jake. I am on Team Diana. Yeah, if she just wants to play sports,
it's not that crazy.
She won me over.
Really not.
You won me over.
Took that out of context, and it made it sound like she was saying Kobe made this money. Why don't?
Yep. Nope. I fell for it.
That sounds like it's what she was saying. It's not.
I fell for it. All right. Oh, here we go. Jerry Farber posted, where is it? America's Country Soul on Facebook. The other week I talked about Occupy Democrats just putting up propaganda that creates echo chambers. I don't even want to go into it. It's fucking one of these things that it says, oh, this guy stood up to Trump. Trump loves this opera singer. And the opera singer said, you know, I'm ashamed of what you're. So I quick Googled because I'm like, well, this would make news. Completely fucking fabricated, 100% false. And all these people are liking and sharing it like, yeah, that's how you stand up to Trump. You need, would you just fucking Google some shit just once?
Right.
Just once.
You don't think that video will go viral?
Yeah.
Especially if it was an opera singer. If he was sitting there going, Mr. Trump, you're a Nazi. You shouldn't be bombing those drug boats at all. It's for oil, nothing more. Like, it would be great. It would be the greatest takedown ever. You would see that all over the news.
That's why I fucking Googled it. Because, like, look, I'm not smart, but I do catch shit that goes viral. And I'm like, this would have gone viral. So I Googled, and all he did was give a performance. Like, Trump likes it. There was no fucking lecture. There was all fake. All fake. All right. Speaking of things that are fake.
Speaking with the fake AI stuff, I kind of think that AI is going to be the new God, and we will all be the prophets, meaning we will all be able to take the new God and lie to each other and get each other to do horrible things and give us money and following. You know what I mean? Because people used to be dumber back in the day, and they could just be like, hey, man, this guy, God, he told me that these are what he wants us to do, and he wants you to give me all your money, and he wants you to go invade that tribe, that country over there, because there are a bunch of heathens that don't want to give me their money. And so let's do that. And they go, when did God say this? Oh, coincidentally, at the top of a mountain or deep in a cave when I was by myself and there was nobody around, and people were like, I believe him. You know, let's go sack this city. And they would do that. But now people are a little more cunning.
No, they're not. Well, people are still stupid.
Easy. People are still stupid. But they will believe an easy lie. But you gotta sing and dance for them a little. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just
gotta create a web page. Yeah, you gotta like, oh look, I Googled it.
Yeah, here's a fake video of an opera singer telling Trump to kiss his dick or whatever, you know, and they're gonna make that the new God, and they're gonna be like, here, look, this is I AI'd God coming down. Here's God talking to me in the cave. Look, I took an Instagram selfie. I was on Instagram Live in the cave with God giving me the stones and the scrolls and the tablets and the invade that country over there. Go sack Moderna. Go get him. Look what he did on AI. Look what this guy. Here's an AI of Moderna tearing up and shredding the Epstein Files. Guys, I would have released the Epstein Files, but Moderna shredded them. Look, here's a video that I created of him doing it.
All right, we are out of time. I'm just going to blow through these last three. Speaking of AI, Japanese woman marries ChatGPT AI character in symbolic ceremony. Good for her. If all she wants is a companion and she has a dildo, then I honestly don't care. People are making fun, you know, like it's not. I don't care. If she gets off on chatting with something online, good for her. Don't care.
I really hope that this is her second marriage, and she makes the kids from the first marriage call the ChatGPT dad. Like, how dare you? What do you mean you didn't buy the robot anything for Father's Day? You disrespectful son. This robot taught you how to read.
All right, next story. Blue Origin astronaut reveals depression after tsunami of harassment. Here's the funny part. There are two things. One, a Vietnamese
felt bad for her.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Here's the thing. A Vietnamese American astronaut has opened up about her depression after she received a tsunami of harassment. Amanda Nguyen, a 34-year-old scientist and civil rights activist. She wasn't a Katy Perry. She wasn't the fucking, she's an actual scientist that got to go up in space.
So much. I so thought you were going to shit on this lady. I was like, what, dude? Timo, you're mad at the astronaut that got
I'm going to shit on her a little. I think she undeserved because she's a scientist, but Jesus Christ, months of depression because people are mean online. Fuck off. I get shit on all the time online. It's part of being online. So slight overblown with the therapy, but yeah, the one person on the flight that deserved zero shit. I mean, come on, leave her alone. All right,
fine. It was ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
The astronaut who was actually an astronaut that went to space, she doesn't deserve any of this ridicule.
Right.
Whereas the lady married
Katy Perry,
robot, she has no shame at all. She's just like, yeah, married a robot. I call him Frank. He's my husband now. Fuck off. You should be somewhere in between. I feel months of shame because someone was mean to me online. Yeah, it's not. I mean, you should be a little more thick-skinned than that. That said, I empathize with her. Like, that's fucked up. But then, the other extreme of like, I pretend he's got a dick and everything while I'm talking to him online. I make my kids call him Papa. It should be balance. You want to be somewhere in the middle there. Yeah.
Yeah. Find the median. All right, here's the final story. And I'm glad we didn't talk about this too much because it was fucking funny. I watched the clip. Fox News mocked for ripping into Joe Biden's holiday vacation. She literally went on and where's
this article?
Someone was subbing. Tommy Lauren was subbing for Hannity. And she, where's the quote? She literally said, do you know where Joe Biden is right now? Spoiler alert, he's on vacation. He's also not the president. He's a fucking 83-year-old dude with dementia. She literally tried it as a gotcha. Like, he's on vacation. I mean, yeah, he's on vacation.
The level of trying to still blame Biden for everything is wild. To sit there a year after the man's out of office and go like, why isn't Biden fixing the economy right
exactly.
now?
They still tried.
This is crazy.
All right. Next week, let's pull up the calendar. Today is the 3rd. Next week, I'm good. Saturday, regular time. We will be here as normal. The week after that, I might be in a hotel. No, I might be driving, so we might have to do Sunday on the 18th. We'll see. Either way, next Saturday, the 10th, regularly scheduled live cast. I have been Nathan Timmel. You can learn everything about me at nathantimmel.com, where I have a store there you can buy shirts, hats, sweatpants, 74 plus designs of kooky shit. My favorite one is pickleball. Was tennis too hard? I have a special on YouTube, Unapologetic. I write books. Jake has been and will always be Jake Vevra. You can find him on all social media at Jake Vevera. It's your full name, right? At Jake Vevra.
Yep.
And you can look up his special, Unalived by Dog Pills, on YouTube.
Watch it, like it.
Watch it, like it, share it, subscribe it. And I see Paul in my comments, but I haven't seen Paul in the chat. Let's reach out and find out what happened to Paul because he was a good contributor. But either way, all right, we'll see you in a while, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Don't do fentanyl. They've been cutting it with the Moderna booster.